Welcome to, I guess, Am I the Arsehole? But in the perspective of Christian. So we're gonna start off with the first story. This one's actually quite a bit of paragraph or a few paragraphs, and we are read or yeah, I'm gonna say we because whoever's watching this is a we. So we're going to be reading off the top post of today. This was 21 hours ago. So, am I the asshole for taking back the car I gave to my stepdaughter after she disrespected me? Like, this one, I read some of the, like, I didn't read the whole story of all of these that I'm going to be reading today, which is three, but I did read some of it, and some of the stories are actually really good. They're in a way not exciting for the person finding out. It's just there's a lot to unpack essentially. So am I the asshole for taking back the car I gave to my stepdaughter after she disrespected me? I, 45 male, married my wife, Clara, 43 female, 5 years ago. She has a daughter, Lily, 17 female, from her previous marriage. I've always tried to build a good relationship with Lily, but it's been an uphill battle. She's polite but distant and has made it clear I'm just her mum's husband. Still, I've done my best to support her, driving her to her soccer games, helping with homework, and showing up wherever I could. Just before we continue, I know that I don't have my microphone here. I can't find the power supply for the microphone, so we're going to have to stick with the phone audio for the meantime. By far, the story is actually pretty good. Like, the guy, the man in the relationship seems like he's actually genuinely, a nice person. But there's always a twist at the end, on the person, like the nice person actually being the asshole. So we don't even know until the end. So let's continue. Clara hasn't been working for the past 2 years. She left her job to pursue her dream of becoming an artist. I supported her decision, even though it meant I had to take on more hours at work to keep us afloat. It's been tight financially, but I wanted Clara to feel fulfilled, and I believed we'd get through it together. Last year, Lily got her driver's license, and despite the extra strain, I worked overtime to save up and buy her a used car. It wasn't anything fancy, just a 2010 Honda Civic, but I wanted her to have some independence. I thought it might also help bridge the gap between us. When I handed her the keys, she seemed happy. That's a good thing. Even gave me a hug, which felt huge coming from her, considering she never really like paid attention to her or called her, dad or anything like that. So, okay, that's a good thing. So I thought we were making progress. Last month, I overheard Lily talking to a friend. She said, "I hate him. He's pathetic. Thinking that car will make me like him. I just pretended well, that makes sense to me. I just pretended to be nice so mum doesn't get mad. Her words felt like a punch to the gut. I've sacrificed so much to support this family. Hearing her mock me like that crushed me. I would also hate to be in that position as well. Essentially, like people lying to your face just to like people please. Like I really can't talk because I used to people please all the time. But in this sense, like to say that you don't like the person and then try and, hug the person and say you don't actually care about them or in a way don't care about them, like, come on, man. I told Clara that what I'd overheard, hoping she'd back me up, but she brushed it off. Lily's a teenager. She doesn't mean it. Just let it go. But I couldn't let it go. A week later, I asked Lily directly if she really felt that way. She didn't deny it. She just shrugged and said, "I didn't ask for the car, so I don't owe you anything." When I told her how much her words hurt, she rolled her eyes and said, if you're that upset, take the car back. I don't care." So I did. Wow. The next day, I took the spare key, drove the car to a dealership, sold it. I figured the money could go towards the bills I've been struggling to cover since Clara stopped working. That's understandable. When Lily found out, she was furious. She called me a petty jerk and said I was punishing her for being honest. Clara blew up too. She accused me of overreacting and claimed I'd ruined my relationship with Lily permanently. Clara argued that I should have consulted her first and said my actions were unfair, especially since Lily is just a kid. So I can't seem to say the word Lily properly, or I don't feel like I am saying it properly. She also pointed out that Lily is already struggling emotionally because of her financial situation, which she says I'm constantly bringing up. Quotation marks. But I'm tired of being disrespected. I've worked so hard to keep this family afloat while Clara chases her dreams, and I feel like I've been taken for granted by both of them. Now the house is tense. Clara says I need to apologize and consider buying Lily another car, but I feel like that would just enable her behavior. Am I the asshole for taking back the car I gave her after she just disrespected me? I mean, the way I look at it, I'm going to read the top comments, and I've set the comments to whatever the top comments are. The way I look at it is, if you've gifted something to someone, that means you cannot take that gift back, no matter how that person reacts. Yes, that was like, I'm not saying he is an asshole, and I'm not saying she's an asshole or anything like that. I'm just saying that you can't really, in a way I would be, but I'm also saying he's not, because like I understand in a way, like I wouldn't give a gift and then take it back and then, go and sell it or whatever, or whatever the situation is. And in this case he resold it to a dealership, but I wouldn't give a gift and then take it back personally. I mean, what she did is kind of an asshole move, but I think everyone is an asshole in this situation, because she shouldn't have spoken to him in this way. Like, people in the comments might disagree with what I'm saying, but like, he shouldn't have sold the car. He shouldn't have taken the car, and even though she said, do it, maybe it was an empty threat or a threat or whatever. But she also shouldn't have reacted in the way she did, and she shouldn't be treating her, dad, her stepdad, or her mum's husband in this type of way. But whatever you guys think, is put down in the comments what you thought of this story. I'm gonna read some of the comments. So someone says, top 1% commenter. Not the asshole. Clara can get a job and save up for a disrespectful daughter's car. I mean, yeah, but as I covered, like, the husband has gifted the car to her daughter. Like, don't take a gift back. Just like Jesus, and yes, I as I've said, as I said before, I'm a Christian, so I'm doing this in a Christian perspective. Just like Jesus giving us the gift of salvation, like he's not asking us to buy it, and then he's not going to take it back from us, just because we're being disrespectful. Like, you know what I mean? That's the perspective I've got. Whereas the dad has done the opposite. He's like taken that gift back because of the daughter's disrespect. So another person commented exactly that, and also her own home. I fail to see what OP is getting out of this arrangement other than financial ruin. So there's another one. What 43-year-old woman with a child stops working to pursue being an artist in this economy? One who found a sucker to leech off and lets her daughter disrespect him as well. OP needs to to not break his back working overtime for people who don't respect him. Yes, okay, there's no respect in the sense of the daughter doesn't respect him, but he still shouldn't have sold something that was gifted. Like, you've literally given something. That's just like it's like getting gifted a Christmas present, a present at Christmas, and then going and selling that present, out of spite because you didn't like it, or because you didn't like the person or whatever, or going to give a Christmas present to someone, and then saying to the person, "Oh no, I want that gift back so I can go sell it so I can have the money," which is essentially what happened here, and it's not fair. Like, I just think everyone's an asshole. Like, it wasn't good. But people are saying that, he's not the asshole. Okay, Moving on. Just whatever you guys think of the stories, just yeah, comment down below. So moving on. Am I the asshole for giving crappy Christmas gifts and ruining my marriage? Throw away account for anonymity. Sorry, I cannot read. I, 31 female, married my soon-to-be ex-husband, male, 33, in 2018. Not that long ago. My in-laws never liked me and made it clear. STBX insisted, I don't know what STBX is, but yeah, that they're just putting up a tough exterior and they'll grow to love me. Oh, soon to be ex-husband. Okay, soon to be ex. Alright, I understand that now. To show how evil they are, one time I joined them for dinner and brought a cake, and I'd made, brought a cake I'd made because I was always raised to be a gracious guest. That's a very nice gesture. When I stepped into the kitchen and offered the cake to his mother as a thank you for inviting me, she took the plate over to the garbage bin, dumped it in, and handed me the plate back. What? Wow. When I told my husband what she did, he confronted her, and all of a sudden the crocodile's tears started, and she claimed she grabbed the plate but didn't get a good grip. Okay. I let go too quickly and it fell to the floor, so of course it had to be thrown away. I don't know what SIL means, but anyway, confirmed that was what happened. That was what people need to put grammar. My soon-to-be ex owned his own business, and they called me a gold digger behind his back. Wow. Of course, they insisted on a prenup, which I didn't care about because I never thought my marriage would end, and it would appease them and may allow them to finally treat me kindly. Nope, his business failed once COVID hit. A lot of businesses did, unfortunately. We went through his savings and my own, trying to keep it afloat. I refused to go into debt to keep it going, so he closed it down. In 2022, he was suffering from really bad depression because he lost his business and couldn't find new work. He suggested we move to his hometown, closer to his family, so he had a larger support network. Against my best judgment, we did. He wanted to only work part-time while he tried to restart his business, so I became the main breadwinner. And as with most wives, I became the person in charge of buying gifts. Stupid old me thought buying them thoughtful, expensive gifts would finally make them see I wanted to be accepted by them. You cannot buy someone's love. I can promise you that. Gifts to us were a couple's gift, but clearly for my soon-to-be ex only. Okay, that made no sense to me. Maybe to other people, but yeah, made no sense to me. Every holiday was spent with him. Monthly dinners with the whole family. After a year, I realized that if I ever tried to talk or join a conversation, everyone would go quiet, so I just stopped talking when I visited. I've done that before in, past relationships. In early December, they finalized plans for Christmas. A few days later, my soon-to-be ex said his family decided they didn't want me to join them for Christmas Eve dinner and Christmas lunch because I ruined the family vibe. I replied, fine, we'll do our own things instead. My soon-to-be ex sheepishly looked away and said he was still going to go. Wait, what? Oh, wow. Oh, I completely glazed over. I'm sorry. I kind of do that when I read sometimes, but yeah, that's that. Okay, I was livid and so disappointed in him. That was the moment I knew my marriage was over. So I returned the presents I had bought for his family. In their place, I got one pair of novelty business socks for FIL. Still don't know what FIL is. A supermarket brand bottle of shampoo for MIL. Father-in-law and mother-in-law. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. I understand now. I don't know. I'm not the best with terms, so yeah. It takes me a while to catch on. The nastiest perfume I could find at the dollar store for sister-in-law. The most expensive gift was a large rawhide bone for brother-in-law and his wife's chihuahua. Too big for it to get its jaw around, rendering it useless. Okay. I saved about $600 to put on a deposit for a new apartment. My husband my husband came home from Christmas lunch telling me I humiliated him and embarrassed him in front of his family. I asked him why would he think I'd buy nice gifts for people who clearly don't like me and don't want me around. Served divorce papers last week. I'll get into that in a minute. Remember how he was supposed to be a millionaire by now, so we had that prenup? Soon to be ex is not eligible for any of my savings. It was required to keep separate accounts or alimony. He doesn't have money for rent and auto insurance. Not my problem anymore. Some of my friends and family and on my side am proud that some of my friends and family and on my side are on my side. Okay, people need to make sure their spellings all good. Are on my side and proud that I went out in a blaze of glory. Others telling me I was being way too petty, which isn't really like me. So am I the asshole? I just want to say onto the marriage bit, and also like I would put this in our revenge, because it was a very revengeful thing that she did. I would say yes, she is an asshole for like wanting a divorce over that. I understand that, but you can always talk about it. You don't just go, oh, I want a divorce for, because your parents aren't treating me right. You talk about it. And if she has talked about it, I'm sorry for doing that. But like maybe I glazed over it, like I said before, but I didn't see that she did talk about her issues with her husband. She didn't. I didn't see anyway that she actually spoke about those problems. But the family's also an asshole for I just think everyone here is an asshole. Because of the way people are reacting, the parents should be reacting like this. I agree. I totally, I'm on her side for that. But she should also not just throw her marriage away because of this. As it says in the Bible, unless someone is being adulterous outside of marriage, like you're married and you're gone off and, gone with, someone else, for example, and cheated on them, then divorce is okay. Even then, it's still not okay, but, it is fine by, the Bible that you can be divorced, if there's any cheating. But if there's something like this, there's always issues. You just need to talk about it. That's just, my thoughts. From a biblical perspective, people shouldn't, shouldn't just get divorces because of something like this. I don't think anyway. Should be working on it, talking about it. But we're just gonna go on to the comments. Someone says, "Not the asshole. You were treated horribly. Good riddance." Yes, I agree. She was treated horribly, but you can always talk. You can always talk. Unless she's already done that, as I said, unless I glazed over it, I didn't really read into it because there was a lot of, writing, which I didn't see any of it. Don't get a divorce, stay married, if you can work it out. If you don't, then okay, I understand that. But if you haven't even talked, don't just get a divorce because of that. Exactly, they treated her like crap. Good for her for finally walking away. Okay. Fair enough. People disagree with me. It's okay. Agree. Girl, I am living for your blaze of glory exit. You put up with way too much from those awful in-laws and your spineless husband. Good for you for standing up for yourself and walking away. Yet again, you can talk. If she didn't talk to her husband, how are they supposed to resolve the issues? Not the asshole. He chose his family over you and still expected you to buy all the presents. This was perfectly planned and well deserved for... That's an asshole bit, I agree. She's not the asshole for that. I did definitely glaze over that. But, yet again, She did not talk to her husband saying, I have an issue with this. I don't want to buy them, whatever. I get treated like this, Christmas, all that kind of stuff, all these family events. I've had enough. Then if he disagrees, or if he doesn't, talk, if he doesn't react in a good way, or, talks about it properly, then, yeah, then and only then would I kind of push for divorce. Even then, like, I don't agree with divorce. I don't think people should get divorced unless you're not, completely, done with the Lord. Like in the Lord, I should say, and it's a good relationship, which most Christians should be in a good relationship, because it should be Christ focused. But yeah, moving on. He only worked 12 hours a week at Walmart, so he could do non-existent work restarting his business. I make just over six figures, and I can't believe I didn't realize years ago I was the family ATM. Okay, that I can see, but still, talk. Like, it's that simple. I don't. Maybe she's not the asshole for getting a divorce, but there's still no need, like, in my eyes, for a divorce. He and his family are the assholes. So maybe not. Maybe she isn't the asshole. I don't. I'm gonna say she's not, but there's still, like, you can do it, but I don't like it when people get divorced. It's up to them, but yeah, it's just because I'm because I'm Christian, I don't agree with divorce. Because at the beginning in Genesis, God created a man and woman, and for them to be one, meaning, like, you shouldn't marry anyone else, etc., etc. So am I the asshole for doing nothing to help my dad and stepmom while she's got cancer? This one kind of, like, I only just read the title, and I only had to read the title, because this one, like, wow, okay, because you never know, like, the title might be like, okay, I sound like an asshole, but then the story might be something completely different, and they're just confused with the situation. So, but I'm not saying that's all the cases. I'm just saying, like, yeah. My stepmom was diagnosed with cancer a few months ago. She's really sick, and her and my dad are struggling to keep everything going. They've got 4 kids together, 8 and younger, and then there's me, 17 male. I don't have a good relationship with them. I did until I was 6. Then things went badly. What went wrong? So my mum died when I was only a baby. My dad and stepmom met when I was 2. I really loved her and was close to her, and I remember when it changed. My stepmom didn't want me to spend time with my mum's parents anymore. Why did I say that with an inflection, upwards inflection? Wow. Mum was their only child, and I was their only grandchild, so I was extra special to them. My dad felt bad for them, or so he said, and disagreed with her. I loved spending one Saturday a month with them. My stepmom was jealous. She felt like if she was my mum, then I didn't need my grandparents on my mum's side. I remember her sitting me down and asking me to stop seeing my grandparents so I could be her son for real. Wow. She said it made her sad when I left, and she didn't like that they confused me about who my mum was, because I'd say I had 2 mums, and I looked like one and the other lived with me. I didn't want to stop seeing them, and she asked if I felt that way, even if it made her sad. I said I didn't want her to be sad, but I loved my grandparents. The relationship changed after that. She stopped being loving and affectionate. There we go. So this obviously sounds like, I'm not going to say 100% like narcissism, but like grandiose self-delusion of, like, if you don't stop loving someone else, I'm not going to love you, or something along those lines. I don't know where to say for that, but yeah. So she stopped picking me up from school or spending time with me. If I went to hug her, she'd push me off, and if I talked to her, she was cold. One Sunday morning, one Sunday, we were alone because my dad got called into work for an emergency and I wanted to spend time with her. She told me I hurt her and she didn't want to spend time with me anymore. She told me I wasn't her son anymore and she wasn't my mum. She tried to have the actions have consequences but I didn't really get what she was talking about then. All I knew she didn't love me anymore. I cried over it and my dad knew. He stayed married and he told me it wouldn't be so bad. After that, if my dad couldn't stay home with me, I had a sitter or I went to my grandparents' house. When my dad and stepmom had their first baby, she said the baby was their first kid and they were first time parents. My dad kinda corrected her, but not really. My family photos were taken without me, and she used to get so pissed at my dad when he'd bring me on family vacations with them. If anyone called me my stepmom's son or called her my mum, she'd lash out them. She always put a lot of feeling into the not my son part. Or not my son part. She'd say I wasn't good enough for her. Yeah, that's just telling me narcissism right there. My dad's parents were cut off from all of us because they pushed her on it. And she said if she wasn't good enough to be my only mum, then she wasn't going to pretend to be anything. Wow. See what I was saying before? Like, if you're not going to do this, I'm not going to, respond. I stay as busy as I can, so I'm not home a lot. And that hasn't changed since she's got sick. Even when she was in the hospital, I'm angry with Dad for staying with her and having kids with her and letting her treat me like she did. But I accepted that he was more into being her husband than my dad. I'm keeping out of the way and saving and planning to leave when I graduate. My dad has asked for my help a few times, and he and my stepmom have brought up that I'm doing nothing to make this easier. She told me I clearly want her to die and stuff. I roll my eyes at her. My dad told me it was wrong and she could seriously die. I asked why it was my problem. I wasn't a part of their family anymore. She did not want me to be thought of as anything to her. Dad told me I could be angry at them and still help because it was the right thing to do. He's not wrong there. He said my half siblings hardly know me and I could change it now. I told him nothing needed to change. He said I was taking my anger out on everyone at the wrong time. He said she could die and he put all the emphasis on the point that the doctors aren't sure treatment will work, and he said how sick she's been and how she's been hospitalized twice already. He said we all need to pull together now and I'm not helping anyone. Am I the asshole? This one's a hard one. So we're going to go to the comments first before I say anything. Someone says, not the asshole. She made the choice a long time ago that you weren't going to be her kid or part of the family, so you get to return that energy. It is not your job to pick up the slack for her or your dad. She made her bed. She can lie in it. Okay. She spent years making it clear you weren't part of her family, and now that she's sick, she expects you to suddenly fill that role. Your dad had years to stand up for you and fix this, but he didn't. This situation isn't on you, not the asshole. Yeah, his stepmom treated him cruelly for years and made it clear he was not part of her family. It's been unreasonable for his dad to expect him to step in now when they excluded him from their lives for so long. I'm going to say that OP is not the asshole, but there's some biblical things I could say about this, like forgive, one another, and your heavenly Father will forgive you. But he's definitely not I myself in this situation, I would have helped, but I guess that's just me. I don't know, if anyone else would have, but not to please anyone, but just to get them off my back. But still, she shouldn't have hated him. She should have forgiven him. She shouldn't have responded this way. It's definitely, I'd say narcissism. That. I'm only saying that, and a lot of people throw that word, around these days. But I'm just saying it because you're not being, like, I'm just quotation marks here, because you're not being fair to me, I'm going to be unfair to you, and be mean to you for no reason at all. You know, all he wanted was to see his grandparents, but she wouldn't let him, and that's just not a good thing. But he also shouldn't have responded this way, like not helping. Yes, there's hatred in his heart towards his stepmom, but shouldn't have responded like this. But that was today's episode. So all of them have been claimed to be not the arsehole. I said that two of them were, or one maybe. One was definitely, everyone was the arsehole, I think. And this, he wasn't the arsehole, but he still shouldn't have held that, hatred in his heart. But other than that, I thank you for watching. Please put down in the comments below what you thought of this episode and what you think of these stories, and if I should continue on. I'm probably going to make another episode, but yeah, I just want to know what your thoughts are. Until next time, ciao.